Blog Talk Radio.
Be engaged, be empowered, be inspired. With your girl, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha, on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
That's right. It's your girl, your auntie, your sister, your friend, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha here, and I am super, super excited. I want to welcome each and every one of you here on tonight. You just better buckle up and get ready, as this is our season for just getting ready for what God is doing for next season, and we want to finish 2013 strong and empowered. We're going to be engaged and inspired to move forward in this journey we call life. So I have an awesome, awesome show lined up for you this evening, and let me just take a breather. Breathe in and breathe out. I am just super excited. I've been sharing it on all of our networks. If you are streaming in live, I want you to go ahead and tweet this. Our hashtag for today is sista-girl-table-talk, and we're going to have an awesome time. I have none other than Les Brown Platinum speaker here. Stacie Nc Grant is in the studio looking fabulous. I'll have none other than the activator herself joining us, Lucinda Cross, here in the studio. She, too, is looking fabulous, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is Sister Girl Table Talk, but we want to welcome the brothers in on tonight's discussion, as we're just going to just empower you, and I'm just so excited about this evening. We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're just going to just let it all hang out. So get your coffee, your tea, whatever it is that you drink, and sit back and relax, and we're just going to have a good time. We'll be back right after these messages.
Are you starting a new business, releasing a CD, writing a new book? Consider Mitchell Productions for your web design services. Visit www.mitchell-productions.com for portfolio samples, specials, and package prices. Remember, a website is not a luxury item. It's a necessity. Check out mitchell-productions.com or find them at facebook.com/Mitchell Productions.
Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day by LaTanyha Boyd, consists of inspirational messages that offer daily words of empowerment, promote spiritual growth and development in the Lord Jesus Christ for your day-to-day living. Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day. Available now on Kindle, ebook, and paperback. Log on to www.latboyd.com.
Have you written a book, recorded a CD, started that business, and you're asking yourself, what happens now? Well, this is the time to let the world know that you exist. Faith the Believer is available to bring you out of obscurity and to the masses. Led by marketing mentor LaTanyha Boyd, not only will your presence be elevated, but you will be mentored and taught to continue doing the work yourself. Connect with Faith the Believer today to be empowered and inspired to market your ministry by logging on to www.faithabeliever.com. Once again, that's www.faithabeliever.com.
Be engaged, be empowered, be inspired. With your girl, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha, on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.
And we're back. That's right. It's your girl here, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha. And again, I'm just super excited. Welcome all of you on tonight of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio as our segment of Sister Girl Table Talk. I want you guys to go ahead and tweet with our hashtag of sista-girl-table-talk. That's SISTA, Girl Table Talk. I have put something in the feed of our Facebook event page under Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. We want you to join us there. Have any questions, go ahead and feel free to post them, and we'll share them with our guests on today. You can dial in at area code 602-753-1683 and join us there. All you have to do is push the number 1 on your keypad. We'll go ahead and bring you into the conversation. As I said at the top of the show, I am just super excited. I have one of Les Brown Platinum speakers here, none other than Stacie Nc Grant. And I just want to read off a quote that she has, and it reads, "I truly believe all of us are uniquely special, each in our own individual way. Life is a gift from God, and how we use this gift gives us the opportunity to show our appreciation for this priceless treasure. I choose to use the gift God has given me to inspire others to take action and create their own luck." Now, that's a quote from my dear sister, Stacie Nc Grant. She has this other quote that she does, action with no distractions. She's an empowerment specialist, an event strategist, and a life coach. And I'm just super excited and honored that she is here with us to share with our listening audience on this evening. A big shout out to our brothers and sisters in Kenya, overseas, and we want to give them a big shout out there in London because we are international. Thank you to my sisters and brothers who are listening. I have also here in the studio, Activate Your Life Today. None other than the Activator. She's a speaker, author, and I tell you, she's just an empowering woman of God, and she just, oh, my goodness, when you meet her and hear her message, you have no other choice but to activate your life to go up and beyond what God has called you to do. None other than Lucinda Cross is here in the studio. Let me just bring them on, my sisters and brothers. Welcome, 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 my sisters, to Sista-Girl-Table-Talk on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. As you can hear in my voice, I'm just so excited to have you ladies here.
Well, I have to say I am honored to be here with two of the most fabulous women on the planet. Thank you, Faith and Believer, for hosting us on this call. And Lucinda Cross, you know how much I love you and appreciate who you are and what you bring to the world. So I'm excited. I have my cup of tea, and I'm ready to go.
And I have to say the same. I'm honored just to be here with my big sis. I watch her. She's a great model to follow, and I just appreciate what you have done here, Faith A Believer. So I have my cup of tea, okay, and I'm ready to go too.
All right, my sisters. Well, it's definitely an honor to have you both here, and I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to stop by Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio for our sisters to get a glimpse as to what God is doing for you ladies and for you and through you. I definitely want to open up with the question of, and I just touched the surface, skimmed the surface of giving you guys bio, and just let the listening audience know who is, and we'll start off with my sister Lucinda. So let the listening audience know who is Lucinda Cross.
I'm still trying to figure her out. No. It's a life learning thing, man. The more lessons and the more things that God brings you, just when you think that you have yourself figured out, he shows you that you have more strength, you have more courage, you have more things to learn, and you're more of a woman to grow into. So the woman that I am today, and what is the Activator, is, a mother, a wife, one who believes in God, as my Lord and Savior, and, just moving in sorry, distracted by the baby, but just moving in what I believe in helping women create a platform, creating a space for them to have movements. And it started with myself, not just waiting for somebody to give me permission to get on the stage or giving me permission to start my business, but, just really speaking up and speaking my truth and standing up for what I believe in. And that's what I help other women do as well, is let's just take what you've created and create a movement out of it. And so that's what I am, an activator. I procrastinated enough in my life and wasted a lot of years, and I say wasted because it wasn't an investment. And so now I use that time to help other women do the same.
Awesome. And I like what you said. You create a movement. You're not sitting back, sitting on the dock of the bay watching the tides roll away, and you took action. And so I like that. And so my sister, Stacie Nc Grant, we know you too take action. I know you have a mantra of action with no distractions. So tell the listening audience, who is Stacie Nc Grant?
First of all, I'm cracking up because thanks to my dear buddy, Trevor Ott, my title has been changed a little. It's action despite the distraction, but I'll take it any way you give it to me. But I am very clear about one main thing in my life, that my life is not my own. I was bought with a price, and I know that price is what God did for me. So everything that I do is my way of honoring him and his allowing me to have this platform and to do this work and to work with incredible women like you and Lucinda who are bringing quality and value to the marketplace. So I do this through my platform of speaking, training, and coaching, but understanding that it goes deeper in the core of who we are as women, understanding our value and our worth, and being able to create a shift in the lives of those that I work with for them to see a greater vision for who they are and who they've been called to be, and not to bow down or be scared out of living their dream and taking action on it.
Wow, living their dream and taking action, and that's what it's all about. 2003, we're almost to a close, and we want to finish strong in 2013. We really want to finish strong. What would you say were some of the obstacles that you ladies have overcame in 2013, and how did you overcome those obstacles as we're moving into 2014?
Well, I'll jump in on that because 2013 has been a very interesting year. To say the least. Life is full of twists and turns, ups and downs, and there's no way to really prepare yourself for everything that's going to come. But one of the things that I had to do this year was put myself in the place of not waiting for things to be perfect. Sometimes we can get caught up, or I know I've gotten caught up, on trying to perfect some of the small details. And generally, those on my platform know that I tell you to jump and grow your wings on the way down, just like my dear friend Les Brown would say. But there were things that I'm like, no, it has to be this, it has to be this way. And what I've allowed myself to do is to have the latitude to not worry about the perfection, but worry about the intent. And if the intent is coming from a pure place and it's coming from a sincere place, then the other details will work itself out. It might not be the way I originally intended, and usually works out much better in the long run when I allow what is to happen to organically happen without trying to control every single detail, because ultimately I'm not in control. And for me, I know that all of us on this line agree that God is in control, and he will put you where he needs you to be and will open the doors that he needs you to have. And it became very apparent after helping multiple friends go through tragic loss this year that life is very precious, it is not promised, and every moment that I breathe, I'm clearer today than I ever was that I need to be focused on being of service and bringing value to everyone that I come in contact with.
Wow, that's deep. Now, you got to take a minute. I got to sip my tea on that one. Wait a minute, I got to sip my tea on that one. That was a little deep. Now, my sister Lucinda, What obstacles have you overcome and challenges?
Man, my heart is beating so fast because I think the only person who really knows, and I don't call her my big sis for just because it's just a nice word, and she doesn't say little sis just because we're just homies of the same nationality, far from it. But, you know, when in the process of me creating and putting together one of the biggest events that I feel was in my life, the Activate Conference, meant so much to me because of the work that I put in the year before. And in the middle of, right smack in the middle of it, to lose my mother, my rock, and the one who, you know, she was away. And it's funny because I know it wasn't only me that Stacie has helped, but she was just, man, she had a serious assignment this year. Stacie had a serious assignment this year, boy. But, you know, without even knowing, you know, my mother was on vacation, and she was in Anguilla. And I had to get her back here, get her buried. I'm fighting with them over there in the country because they're under the British laws, and it was so much, you know. So here I am negotiating contracts, negotiating speakers, and trying to get my mother's body back here so I can give her a proper burial. And it was through the grace of God sending a person such as Stacie who had connections with somebody who had connections over there to bring her back here, you know, without us even having to come out of our pockets up front, you know. So it was the relationship that she had and the relationship that I had with her. That's why they say, you know, just being you and showing up as who you are and being true to who God has called you to be and nothing else, you know, it'll take you far. And at that moment when I needed Stacie the most, without even knowing it, you know, to have my mother back, and without us having to struggle and trying to write checks and scrounge up money, and it was amazing. So that was one of the major obstacles and challenges that I had to go through. And I had, you know, I think every activator that I ever worked with was supportive and helped to push through every time. Anytime I thought about just giving up, I would get a phone call from Stacie or from somebody else saying, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. So that knocked the wind out of me for 2013. It knocked the wind out of me.
Wow. Amen, sister. Amen. And, you know, what I'm hearing is, and that's what the show is all about, to be empowered, to be engaged and inspired to move forward in this journey that we call life, and just the bond of sisterhood and just friendship, you know, true friendship that will stand by you through ups and downs, in and out, and that's what it's all about. We have some questions here in the feed of our Facebook event page. Now, if you're out there, go ahead and tweet the show at sista-girl-table-talk is our hashtag today, and our handle is spiritualfoodRA. We definitely want to hear from you. I have a question here from my sisters from Tracina Pitts. She says, what advice would you give a woman just starting out? She says, a person like me never gives up, takes risks, and works for what God directs me to do. I want to move into the platform of motivational speaking. So she wants to know, what advice would you give to her? And that's from Tracina Pitts.
Okay. Well, I'll jump in, and I'm sure Lucinda will have some more to add. One of the main things is you did it. You decided that this is what you want to do, and you feel that you have something to share. You have a voice that has value, and don't do like I did early on in my career of establishing that this is what I wanted to do, talking myself out of it or saying that there wasn't enough, especially women, that held the national space and that were able to be an example. So recently, there are a lot more of us, and I'm grateful for that, and we need more. We need more voices. But if you're interested in public speaking or any sort of motivational, inspirational, whatever category you want to fall in, there are some organizations that can help you get started, get your feet wet, get you comfortable with what it is that you are looking to do, like Toastmasters International, the National Speakers Association. So you can have apprentice, novice level that you can join and just be exposed to other professional speakers, to find the mechanics of how to create a complete and robust speaking career. So those are some of the ways that I would tell you to start, and then find a mentor. You know, you can't do this thing called life alone. You have to be able to work with great individuals who speak to you. You know, Lucinda has her assignment. A Faith Believer has her assignment. I have my assignment. We all have a particular audience that we are assigned to. So never think that there's too much and there's not enough room. Stay true to who you are, the message that you bring, and as much as you're seeking your audience, they're seeking you. So just do the work, find out ways to better yourself and improve, and through Toastmasters, National Speaker Association, individual programs like ones that I host and some of my other fellow speakers, Lucinda has a platform as well, you'll be able to expand that and grow it.
Great information. And just to piggyback on what Stacie mentioned, I would say, you know, what helped me out, besides, you know, they say if you want to speak, go speak. You know, find a place to go speak. And it's, you know, sometimes it's just not that easy. But figure out what your message is. What is it that you want to talk about? Why is it relevant? Who should hear it? Why should they care? And what is it going to do to them after they hear what you bring to the table? So, you know, really hone in on your values and your message and what you bring to the table and why you feel at this particular point your message is relevant, because it is. You know, what you have to say is relevant. We just figure out who needs to hear it. Is it a young child? Is it an older woman? Is it men? Is it boys? You know, what's the position that those people are in? And I always say this one thing. You always talk to the individual who is just like you. You know, a lot of times our message is for the person who is just like us, the man or the woman in the mirror. So look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what would I want to know in this situation? I always say there's a fortune in your frustration. So there's a whole lot of message in some kind of mess that you've been through in life. So just write down all of the things that you've been through or gone through, or things that you've learned that you can teach someone else, and figure out which audience you want to talk to.
Good advice, ladies. I just want to jump in there as well as an inspirational speaker as well. And, you know, you start off small. Take those little steps. You know, you can start speaking at your local library. And again, just like my sister Lucinda said, you know who your target audience is, know your demographics, and begin to write the vision and make it plain. And so I would just map out what it is that you want to talk about and the type of topic and people that you want to give your message to that you can relate to, and they'll be able to relate to you. So that was great. I see here also in the feed we have another question from Teresa Dutton. She says, what is the first step to becoming a life coach? And I'm going to put that to Miss Lucinda Cross.
Okay, so for me, the journey that I took was through not only just through my own education and life experiences. I went through training through my own mentor, Andrew Morrison, and that training was outside of just business coaching. He showed me a lot about life coaching and the elements in what I consider now balancing your Fab Five: your faith, your family, your friends, fitness, and finance. And that's the same thing that I use when I work and teach my clients. So there is formal certification, and then there's certification programs that you can go into. But for me, life coaching is just your own life lessons that you've learned, you've mastered, and you said, I'm not going to do those things anymore. But you can actually teach a young teenager, you know, how not to go into becoming a teen pregnant, you know, being a teen pregnant mother, or you can show her how to transition her life even if she was in that situation. So I would say, you know, in terms of life coaching, really look at, you know, what you've accomplished in life, and what can you pass down to someone else, you know. So there's lots of trainings and programs that I've been a part of that has helped with, and even within my degree, that has helped with me being able to coach someone else to balance that Fab Five.
And so now
I hope I answered that question.
That made great. sisters, how do you guys, I know you guys are very busy and I know you have families. How do you ladies balance that? How do you get to balance all of that?
Well, okay, let's Stacie got to go on that one because she's
Let me just echo agreeing with everything Lucinda said earlier. Honey, sometimes you just need a PhD in life to get out here and help somebody get to the next point. But anyway, I digress. So to the question of balance. Balance is a daily intention in order for you not to feel overwhelmed and completely frazzled. And one of the things that both Lucinda and I are blessed to have are supportive husbands and understanding children. And that's not something that we can always guarantee for everybody else, but if you are building a business, starting a career, building a platform, it's very important to really analyze who sits in your front row. I talked about this on another call and train on it because your partner, your family, they have to understand what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're building. So they allow you a little bit of leeway as you have to be on the road or you're traveling or you need to take time away from family time on some occasions in order to fulfill your assignment. And if you have those conversations with your family, we have family meetings. So we sit down and we talk about what's happening, what's on the calendar, what's coming up. And my sons are very involved with giving me their feedback on what they think should be done. And as my 10-year-old told me, he has some very new marketing strategies for 2014 that I need to implement. So it really pays to be able to have open dialogue with your family so that everyone is clear about the vision, everyone understands where you need to go so that you can have the additional support and the ability for them to understand when you can't do some of what your other friends are doing because you're building and you're focusing on the things that you don't have today, and you're willing to do those things that others won't do so you can have tomorrow what others won't have.
And for me, and just I have to go back to that life coaching thing too, because that is so true, Stacie. Literally, you know, people say, you know, and I haven't had that one question, Lucinda, are you certified as a life coach? And, you know, and I would dare someone to even ask me that because I can go down the history and the line of it. But, yes, life gives you a PhD, but for balance, for me in my household, it is a support system, just like Stacie said. So my husband is very supportive. My family understands the work that I'm in. Of course, they thought I was crazy when I first started out because I was a basket case, you know, just passionate about my being an entrepreneur. And, you know, but now they see that I'm serious about this, and they're willing to lend a hand when I need them. And so I've built a support system. I understand, you know, and it's a schedule. You know, who can watch the kids when I'm doing this? What am I going to do when the babies are sleeping? You know, so everything is thought out. You know, if they need to do homework, we go to the library. While they're doing homework and studying, I'm on my side working on copy and content and blogs. So you have to put together a priority list. That's what works for me, is putting together a priority list. And at the end of that priority list, then it's playtime. Then I squeeze in social media chatting and extra phone calls and talking to my girlfriends. And, you know, so you don't have playtime, no recess until you get through your major subjects. And so I make sure I get through my major subjects, which is money, marketing, management, operation, laundry, you know. So while I'm on the call now, you know, I'm doing laundry. I'm cooking right now for tomorrow. So it's all about prioritizing your life to make it work for you. So sometimes you find the balance and imbalance by doing several things that you can do at one time without losing your mind.
Exactly.
Wow, I like what you said. You know, you just got the communication is there in family and just to map everything out, have a schedule and just to map everything out. Now, my ladies, as we're moving into 2014, we have a few seconds left, and we're going to be jumping into 2014 shortly. What spiritual food for thought would you like to leave the listening audience with on today? And I'll start off with Miss Stacie Nc Grant.
Thank you, and thank you again for having me on and having me to have this opportunity to share with my Lucinda. So my spiritual food for thought is simply this. If today was the last day, will you be happy with what you report to your maker? And if it's not, use the next days to come to build a report card that'll get you an A+ and a well done.
Good. Now, my sister Lucinda.
Oh my gosh, that was good. I would just say, really, get inspired and begin to do what matters. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing, what everybody else has to say. One, educate yourself. We don't really educate ourselves enough on what we do. And even though God has gifted us with these wonderful gifts and talents, we still have to educate ourselves on how to use the tools that God has given us. So number one is just really get inspired in life. Musicians, they call it getting in their groove. Comedians call it being on a roll. So for you, just find your position, find your inspiration, and educate yourself on it so that you can do what matters in life and not trying to compete with what everybody else is doing, but you're doing what matters. I could care less what's going on with the next speaker or with the next what's going on or around me or who's doing what or who's connecting with who, because I have a bigger mission and a movement in mind. And so that's what keeps me inspired. That's what keeps me in my groove. That's what keeps me being on the roll. So find your inspiration point and activate it.
That is some good spiritual food. That was some good eating right there, my sisters and brothers. Nibble on that. Well, I want to thank the both of you again so much for taking the time out and visiting us here in the studio of Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio and our segment of Sister Girl Table Talk. It was definitely an honor and a pleasure. Please just give the listening audience, and I'll start off with you, Miss Lucinda, how they can get in contact with you if they want to activate their life.
Oh, my gosh. Right now, stop what you're doing and write down www.lucindacross.com, lucindacross.com, and go over to my website. On the right-hand corner, you'll see a little shoe, and I'll ask for your name and email. Let's stay connected so that you can get activated on a weekly basis, and I hope to see you live. So it's www.lucindacross.com.
Good. And my sister, Miss Stacie Nc Grant, action, despite the distraction. How can our listening audience get in contact with you?
Well, first, I am so excited. I don't want this to end. We've had too much fun. But stay connected with me at www.Stacie, STACIENC, like North Carolina, Grant.com. That's www.StacieNcGrant.com. I'm Stacie Nc Grant on every platform. I'm the only one on the planet. You can take that to the bank. And do me a favor, if you want to get some special promos, text 22828 and put in Destiny 2014. That's 22828, and then type in the words all together, no spaces, Destiny 2014 for a special treat just for being on Spiritual Food for Thought. Thank you again for having me. Love you both, and 2014 is going to be even brighter than we all anticipate.
Yes. Amen to that. That's right. I'm looking forward to it. My sisters and brothers, again, thank you so much for stopping by. You have just been empowered, engaged, and inspired to move forward in this journey we call life. We want you to finish 2013 strong and jump into 2014 empowered and just to thrive in 2014. So we're praying for open doors. We're praying that your dreams shall come to fruition and that you will follow the steps that God has planted for you. For a good man's steps are ordered by the Lord. Until next time, it's your girl, your auntie, your sister, your friend, inspirational speaker, missionary LaTanyha Boyd here. You can get in contact with us. Follow us on Facebook under Spiritual Food Global Radio. Get in contact with us on Twitter. Spiritual Food RA is our handle, and today's hashtag is sista-girl-table-talk. If you're in the feed of our event page on Facebook, we want to hear what was your takeaway from tonight's segment of Sister Girl Table Talk. You could tweet it, post it on Facebook, and we'll be in touch soon. Until next year, Happy New Year. God bless you. Godspeed. Until next time. Love you, my sisters.
Love you back.
Love you too.
Be engaged. Be empowered. Be inspired. With your girl inspirational speaker missionary LaTanyha on Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio.